Movie fans and moviegoers alike, how are you? Dimitri Panos here with another episode of KDM. The K stands for Kit Bowen to my left or right, depending how you're watching this. She could be in the top or in the bottom. I don't know. Hey, easy. This is a family show. Um, yeah, that
This is
way. Hi,
Dimitri.
Kit.
Yep.
Yes, and
Hi.
I'm on the other side. How are you?
I'm good.
Good,
Okay,
good.
getting ready for tea day.
Getting ready for tea day. That's Thanksgiving if you haven't figured it out. Yes, we're doing this just before we all stuff ourselves and have some wicked good food, I hope.
Yes, yes, yes.
So if that didn't hint to you, dear viewer, listener, yes, today we are going to do Wicked. We are rounding out Glicked, which is the
Yes.
stupidest thing. It's Glicked. Every time I look at it, it's
Oh.
Glicked. And I always think of Jimmy Glick, the Martin Short character. I go, you've been Glicked. So,
Jiminy
Jiminy.
Glick.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I said, Jiminy. Yeah, and it's like, I just feel like something he would say, you've been Glicked. But, this town's
The
got to stop.
Gladiator and Wicked. It's like
Yeah.
Barberheimer all
Barbie,
over
yeah,
again.
yeah,
But
yeah. And
I think Wicked was a little bit
so,
bit of
yeah,
a
we had
success.
Yeah, I believe so. But anyways, yes, we are going to be talking Wicked. Very much been looking forward to uh talking about this movie. Glad you got to see it last night, Kit. And why don't you start things off and tell us about your movie going experience? Was it wicked good?
It was pretty wickedly fantastic. Yes. Okay, enough of that. Enough. Enough.
No, it's not going to stop. Sorry, I'm from Boston. That's part of my vernacular. I thought they made the movie for me.
I
I
know,
thought it
right?
was about my roots, my Boston roots, but I was wrong. But that's okay.
Yes, yeah, it was look, we've made this established a few times here, but I'm not a big musical fan. It's movie musicals definitely not my most favorite. Especially if they're originals. If they're covering, then I like it a little bit better. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
So basically,
So
but what you're saying is if it's based off a Broadway play, other than an original musical like, say, Greatest Showman, which wasn't based off of a play, is that what I'm to understand?
no,
Sort of
I'm
because you
saying
said covering.
for a musical where it's original music,
Okay,
be it that it was on Broadway or not on Broadway. It's a
right.
musical that has original music. That's depending on the musical. I just usually I don't know why, but some of the songs just don't. A lot of times it just doesn't resonate with me like it can with other
Right.
people, and that's just me, really. I mean, there have been some musicals out there that I've loved. Like I liked Hamilton a lot. I thought Hamilton was.
Hmm.
I liked the music in that. And old school stuff like Singing in the Rain or Sound of Music. That yeah, okay.
West
That
Side
that's
Story.
West
Sure.
Side Story. Those are
Of
classics.
course. Of
But
course.
of the modern day musical, it just depends, but not necessarily my favorite. Anyway, I know that the tentpole songs from Wicked are they're powerful and I enjoyed them. But I think what really sells this movie for me overall, first of all, is I'm a Wizard of Oz fan, and I loved the book Wicked. I thought the book was really interesting and unique, telling the
Hmm.
story from the point of view of the Wicked Witch of the West, Elphaba. Um, and I do remember I read it a long time ago, but I do remember how much I enjoyed it. And then when they turned it into a musical, of course, I never got a chance to see it on stage. And I knew they'd make a movie. And sure enough, here we are. Here we are. I did. I loved it. I thought it was, the vision, all of it, the whole package was just spectacular. And the two female leads were unbelievable to me. They were so, Cynthia
Hello?
Erivo, who plays El. You hear me?
Oh, something. What the?
Uh-oh. What happened?
Oh my
Hello.
God, something happened. Somehow my. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Better. Yes? Can you hear
yes,
me?
I can
I
hear
can't
you.
hear you.
Yes. Oh,
So I cannot, I can't hear you at all. Did you do something to your,
mm-mm.
hold on. Let me check something.
No, it's not muted.
Yeah, I don't know what,
Sorry, a little technical glitch there. So now I think now we're back.
we'll fix it
Um,
in post.
well, probably not, but anyway, so yes, so I thought Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande as the two leads, Elphaba and Galinda or Glinda, depending on how you change throughout the film, were unbelievable to me. I just the charisma between the two of them, the rapport, um, the songs they sing together, and then separately as well. They just turned in sort of for performances, especially Cynthia Erivo. I could not take my eyes off of her. I could not take my eyes off of her. She was so uh, you know, just riveting and just present, and the camera and the green makeup with her eyes. She blew me away. She just blew me away in this. The the concept for it was, it's a great story about how she came to be, kind of thing. And this is a part one, so there's actually going to be a part two, which I'm sure it's already in production, because or near to that, because this made so much money this past weekend. Um, the songs were great. Defying Gravity, of course, is one of Elva's the character's big songs.
Alphaba.
Pop Alphaba, that's it. And Popular is a great song for Glinda. But I think my favorite song that of the whole film was the Wizard and I, or whatever, the first song that Cynthia sings, when she
Hmm.
first gets to this university. That really, just because she just starts, her voice is so great, and it was just
Hmm.
very powerful. Um, Definitely teared up. I didn't think I was gonna, but I did. There was a one moment there that I really teared up when they were both dancing, and nothing at all, complete silence, and they were both dancing opposite each other, and it's
The high
when
school
they,
dance scene
yeah,
you're talking
or
about. The scene at the high school dance.
the
And
universe
oh, and
wasn't
go
high
ahead.
school, it was like university,
Well, it looked like a high school dance to me, but yes, it was
a dance,
whatever. It was a
a school
dance.
dance, yeah.
Yeah.
That really just got me. I don't know.
Hmm.
It was when Glenda decides she was in the wrong, uh in her, just in her perspective of who the Alphaba was, and she felt bad for all of the stuff that she put her through, and I don't know, it was a very poignant moment to me, and that actually brought tears to my eyes. But yeah, overall, and the production value of this was just through the roof, man. I mean, it was just beautiful to watch. I mean, Oz never looked better. Um, and yeah, I mean, I honestly, I know we don't usually do the Oscar talk quite yet, but I cannot see anything else beating this, really, to be honest with you. Um, I, like last year, you thought it was going to be Color Purple, and I was definitely not on that bandwagon. But this time around, I honestly feel like it's going to win Best Picture, because
Oh,
it's
you're going to
just
be
got.
on that bandwagon?
I am going to be on the bandwagon. I'm going to be
Okay.
on the Wicked bandwagon. Yeah, it was pretty spectacular.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huge thumbs up.
Look, I I agree with everything you said. It was captivating. I think it was beautiful to look at. It was amazing. It was gorgeous. I had the opportunity to see it at the IMAX home office and their IMAX screen, which obviously it has to be good if they're going to be showing it to directors. Christopher Nolan and James Cameron and the like, and perhaps even John M. Chu. Not sure if he visited those offices. It wasn't necessarily filmed in IMAX, but it was optimized for IMAX, but it was just gorgeous to see. I think John M. Chu has, I mean, it's one of the rare films in which, as I was watching it, it just looked like everybody. everybody involved, and it was very infectious, was
Hmm.
having a great time.
Yeah.
Um, the dance that you're talking about, up to that point, Galinda, she was kind of a brat and a
Yeah.
snob, not very likable. And I was watching Ariana Grande, and I was like, okay, she's okay. The character's a little grating, but it was that
Mm.
dance where Ariana Grande, as an actor, turned everything around,
Hmm.
switched it around, and I was in. I
Yeah.
was like, okay, she's amazing. Cynthia Erivo, as you said, already had me. And I
Yes.
was I was just amazed. You know, to me, this movie as a musical, and I have seen the play. I didn't see it on Broadway. I saw it at the Pantages in Hollywood. And it this as a movie, the way that it was paced and the musical set pieces, and I'm calling them set pieces for a
Yeah.
reason because to me it was akin to an action movie. Here's
Hmm.
why I say that. In an action movie, in a very good action movie, your set pieces get bigger and bigger
Right.
that lead to the final, amazing scene, action set piece in the movie. This to me felt like it was all building up to Defying Gravity,
Yes.
and each set piece was bigger than the one before,
Yeah.
grander, more complex. The scene in the musical number in the library
Oh, yeah. That was awesome.
was fantastic. The scene in which you talk about, meeting the wizard, this one brought up emotions of watching the Christopher Reeve Superman when the kid's running through the fields and he jumps up
Yeah.
in the cornfields or whatever, and then she's running and she leaps in the air. Each number built upon the last, even if it was a slower song, because then you don't have this grand spectacle, but it was all in the performer. Cynthia Erivo's Alphaba, there was a number that took place in the forest
Yes.
of Oz, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Like,
Yep.
and her voice, it was so emotional. And the set design in this movie, the cinematography in this movie, all adds to this emotional it had this emotional gravity. It sucked you in.
Yep.
And you're right, it's Oz has never looked this good. And again, the original Wizard of Oz come out in 1939. And it's been on cable a lot lately.
Yep.
So if you're streaming something like Max or one of those channels, you should be able to get on there,
Yep.
find it, and stream it. Very beautiful movie. It's the movie that introduced color
Yep.
and introduced Technicolor to the world. This movie, again, watching it in IMAX, just stunning. The close-ups of Alphaba,
Yeah.
the way that they captured the musical numbers, add to the song in Emerald City when they got to Emerald
Yes.
City. Just amazing. And we
Yep.
had two
Yep.
fantastic cameos,
Yep.
which
Yep.
it's already
I
out. We're gonna spoil. It was just so. I was like, oh my God,
I know. I
that's
turned to
you know,
so my daughter had seen it. She's a huge, huge fan of the Broadway show.
yeah, yeah.
She actually got to see it in London.
Hmm.
So for the first time. So and it just so this meant a lot to her. So she saw it right away. So she was seeing it again with me. And when those cameos show up, I turn to her and I go, oh! She goes,
Yeah, it's pretty. And what was wonderful about the cameos is outside of it being a bit surprising, it really was a beautiful, happy, wonderful passing of the torch because they actually sang side by side with one another with their respective character, more or less passing off the broom, so to speak. it
heard the
was
story, right? You have heard the
great.
story about a 10-year-old Ariana Grande seeing Wicked, going backstage and meeting Kristen Chenoweth and telling Kristen at that time that she was going to play Glinda someday. You
Oh
know,
no, yeah,
yeah, that
that's
that
amazing.
actually happened. So,
Yeah, it did
um,
because I saw her in the movie Wicked.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm
No,
saying. Saying, but
no,
no, that story
I know.
actually, that's a true
Yeah.
story.
Wow,
I don't
that's
know.
amazing.
I have, I know Ariana Grande. She's been kind of an interesting rise to stardom, in my opinion,
Yeah.
because she started as a child actor and doing comedy and like Nickelodeon shows and stuff, and became a singer and is a great singer. And she's a stage performer. I mean, she's a singer from Broadway. I mean, you can
Hmm.
tell she has trained, that even though she
Hmm.
can hit those high notes, she's not going to probably lose her voice older in life because she's trained. It's like Mariah Carey, I think, totally ruined her voice because she didn't sing the proper way. Anyway, well, I didn't want to get into all that, but I have so much respect for her right now. From her SNL, stint, that was one of the funnier episodes of SNL in a long, long time, and she's funny. She's
Hmm.
funny, and her Glenda was just very, like you said, she starts off being kind of bratty and obviously very spoiled and very entitled. And I love when she goes, "I didn't get what I wanted. I need to lie down." She says, "I need
Right.
to lie down. I didn't get what I wanted." And I just think she played her beautifully because, I was watching clips of Kristen Chenoweth playing her on stage, and she's a little over the top on stage, I thought, and I was
Hmm.
thinking she has to be because it's, when you're
Yeah,
on
so you
stage,
gotta
you've got to be a little bit over the top.
you
You
gotta play
do.
for the cheap seats.
But you know
Yeah.
what? Neither Cynthia
That's
nor
it.
Ariana went over the top with this. There was
Never.
no scenery chewing. There was no moment where I
No.
was like, "Oh, that's a little too much." Never, not even 1 second
No.
did I feel that with these two
And I
characters. Yeah.
credit John M. Chu for that. I really
Yes.
do. I credit John M. Chu for so much in creating this lovely, beautiful, wonderful musical. And it was
And
just so
friendship.
captivating.
Yeah.
Yeah, the friendship. And again, I had seen the play. I saw the play, I want to say 2014, 2015. I'd have to look back because I took some pictures from with inside the Pantages and such. And for me too, like, I'm gonna be that critic to say, like, for me, like, Wicked doesn't just fly, it soared in
Yes.
IMAX. It was gorgeous. And I will honestly say, I believe John M. Chu and company have delivered the best
Yep.
Broadway cinematic musical within the past decade, bar none.
Absolutely. Bar
And
none.
I've liked a lot. I did like West Side Story, although I don't know why Spielberg felt he needed to remake it, but I was fine. Okay, I liked it. This movie, I don't know. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
And it
To be
doesn't
and to be
come.
fair, and I haven't watched it in so many years, but I honestly think I'm going to watch Wizard of Oz. I
Yeah, you
think
could
I'm going to
watch it
watch it.
this. Yeah, watch it. Like I said, I was on this morning. I had it on in the background this morning. Um, you
Hey,
talk about performances.
did you catch, because Libby pointed this out to me and I didn't catch it when I was watching it. The scene where they take the baby lion cub out into the to back,
Yeah,
they rescue it.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
that's the Cowardly
Is that
Lion.
the cowardly lion? Is that the little cowardly lion? I mean, I was thinking about that, but I didn't necessarily correlate to him, being the cowardly lion, and that's fantastic. That's a wonderful Easter egg. But I think there are some other performances too I want to point out
Oh
because
yeah.
we could sit here all day and talk about those two. And you are right about their chemistry together is just it really, from what I understand, the two have become very close friends
Yes.
from this experience. They've actually even discussed talking about taking Wicked back and doing it on Broadway for a stint or so, which would be fun. But I also have to point out this Jonathan Bailey who played
Yeah, he was
Fiero,
great.
the prince. Oh,
Uh,
I don't know where the hell this guy came from. He was so good. It's like,
You don't watch Bridgerton, I take it.
what's a Bridgerton? Is that a tire? I don't know.
You
So no, I don't.
piece of crap. Yeah, yeah. So most women in the world know him from Bridgerton, and yes, he's a yummy,
Yeah.
yummy, yummy man.
Yeah, I mean, like when you can't get a Chris Pine, like he was fantastic, but he was, he really, again, I gotta, the library scene with the tornado wheels, that's what John M. Chu and company apparently called them. He was fantastic. I also loved Marissa Bodie, who played Nessa Rose,
Nessa,
the
yeah, she
sister.
was great.
I'm
She
I'm
was great.
looking. I'm cheating. I don't want to. I'm trying not to mispronounce names. You also had Michelle Yeoh, who obviously is a little bit outside of her comfort zone.
Yeah,
Pardon me, when it comes to singing,
yeah,
but again, I believe under the under the guidance of John M. Chu, is like, you
yes,
know, he pulled
yes.
out these great performances. Then came Dr. Dillerman,
Well, yeah, who
the
played
goat.
him?
Peter Dinklage
Did
was
he
the voice.
really? I kept
Yeah.
forgetting to look that up. Interesting.
Peter Dinklage, and it's so funny. A friend, and it's like, why the hell do I know that voice? Leans over, she goes, Peter Dinklage. I said, did you know that? She goes, no, I just know the voice. I said, but you're right. So,
Wow.
um,
Yeah, well, the
he
whole
was
premise of, I
fantastic.
mean, the interesting part about this story is that in Oz, animals grow up, they're free and they grow up speaking. They're like
Right.
us. So, um, and I guess, there's a lot of, you could probably pick it apart, with racism, with, all these kinds of things.
Sure.
Um, but in this, of course, the animals are sort of starting to be pulled back or, taken out and becoming animals, actual animals, and not talking animals. So, and that's Alpha. Why do I keep forgetting how to say her name? Alphaba.
Just think
Elfie.
out, go Alphaba soup.
Elfie.
Alphaba soup. But
Um,
Alphaba, yeah, she,
that's a clause she becomes very that's sort of what is the turning point for her. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, I didn't know that was Peter Dinklage. I was gonna have to look it up. Who's playing this? I didn't hear the voice. Christy's good.
yeah, yeah. So, it just, and again, it, it was very, it's what that type of spectacle grand cinema should be.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to ask you a question about your movie going experience because, again, I saw it at the IMAX home office and their IMAX screening. Just prior to the screening, a woman comes up to the front. I don't know if she was with IMAX or with Universal. It wasn't anybody I recognized. All good. And she said, "Screening's about to start. I just wanted to say thank you all for coming. Uh, just one little caveat, please." She goes, "If you feel the need to let it out," and then a woman behind me is like, "Oh, good God, please don't," which got a chuckle from me. She goes, "Please, please, please keep the song in your heart." Help it out. Keep the song in your heart. We'd like everybody to enjoy the feature and stuff. Everybody got a good laugh out of it. She was great. The woman who did it just delivered that line like it was. If it was rehearsed, it worked. She left. The movie starts. Now, after said screening, I was reading the following day that people would break out into song while
I heard
watching
the
the.
same. I heard the same.
Now, did that happen in your screening? Because you went to see it in Burbank. Uh, you saw it in Dolby, I'm going to assume, because I tried to urge you to
Actually,
go
I
on.
saw it in Prime. That
Oh,
was the
Prime.
only
Okay.
that was the one I could get, but
Okay.
still pretty spectacular. Yeah.
So
No,
nobody
no one
broke out.
sang. Mm-mm. Not that
So
I heard.
I was actually I was glad that didn't happen, but then I was like, I might want to go see this again and maybe have that happen because it could be fun. my first viewing experience of a movie, like I wanted to just wash over me so I could take it in and start forming my opinion. I don't want the distraction, but now knowing what the movie is and a little bit more familiarity with the songs, it could be kind of fun. I think
Yeah.
Universal thinks it would be fun because, from what I understand, they've already announced come Christmas Day, they're going to release a number of prints that's a sing along.
Oh, cool.
So to have audiences sing along, which I think is a wonderful, fabulous idea,
Yeah.
and why the hell not?
Yeah.
So
We
again,
did
any
clap a lot. We did clap a lot
did
after
you
big performances. Yes.
see? They I clapped, but we're a party of two.
Yeah.
And like my audience, I'm not saying that the audience didn't like it. It was a guild
Yeah.
screening,
Of course.
and
Yes.
guild screenings like they're all posh and a little bit like, oh, this is a guild screening.
Yes.
I just love going to movies and I love
Yeah.
getting into
Yeah.
the and when a movie sweeps over me that way, and again, it could be an action movie, and I could just saw this great action sequence. I'll applause. But
Yeah.
the music, it's an applause-worthy movie.
Absolutely.
100%, right? It's an
I
applause-worthy
mean,
movie.
yeah. So big five for me. Big five. Big five.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say I know I wrote about it on the Instagram, and I did say, you know, I'm not I don't like playing the prognostication game when it comes to Oscars. I usually above my heart. I said, but if I would be wicked happy if Wicked were to take Best Picture, Cynthia Erivo or Ariana Grande took home some. Um, uh,
Well,
Alice
it's
Brooks.
absolutely going to win. I mean, it will be nominated for everything,
Yeah,
but
I think so.
it'll definitely, if it doesn't win like production design and costumes and things and makeup and all of that, I don't think that it could possibly miss on those. The
It
best
can,
picture
and
though, but I'm just saying though, it like we talked about, it's not the greatest of years for movies, and this is now coming out like gangbusters. So, um, yeah, yeah, I think
and it's
it's time to give a movie best picture that's also a huge hit.
exactly. Thank you. Yes, you're 100% correct. And I think that this is the year that everything should meld. That yes, a movie such as a spectacle movie such as this that crosses over and makes audiences happy, but from a technical standpoint, from a directing standpoint, as I said, cinematography, I mean, she was amazing.
Yeah,
And then, the editing was
yeah,
amazing. The
yeah,
production design was,
yeah,
everything about it was just fantastic. And the other thing I have to say is, and to those people, if you're watching, you know who you are. When they announced the runtime to this movie. Oh, people were up in arms, and people actually said on the Twitters, "Oh, movie's gonna flop. Movie's gonna fail." There was such negativity because they announced the runtime, and I'm thinking to myself, dude, it's 5 minutes longer than Dune 2.
yeah,
So that just means it's the credits, which you're not gonna watch anyways.
yeah.
Stop being so negative.
I mean,
Oh,
to be fair, I did feel it a little bit, just a smidge, just a
really, see,
smidge.
I
The
I didn't
feeling
even
was a
look at my
little long, but I mean, to the point where it just didn't matter that much. I mean, that's just,
I that's
yeah.
where you and I are in disagreement. I didn't even look at my watch. And
I
then
didn't look at my watch either, but
when it
I'm just
got
saying
to
I felt it a little bit, just a little
when
bit.
it got to Defying Gravity, man oh Manischewitz. Like
Yeah, I know.
again, each song builds up to that, and there were scenes
Yeah,
in Defying Gravity that were just like, whoa. And again, like you opened up, I'm not a musical type person. Um, but if it's really good,
yeah,
I get drawn in. The other thing that I really love about this version is I think it reaches out to a whole new generation of people. There are the theater people.
yes,
I get it. I was never one of them. Well, I lived in Boston. Theater was always more expensive. And to go to Broadway, theater tickets are expensive. Like,
Yeah,
you want to complain about movie ticket prices? Try going to a theater and getting a decent seat.
yeah,
Um, it's expensive. This is going out to a whole brand new audience of people who they might not have a good theater, like a theatrics, Broadway type theater
right,
near them to go to outside of maybe the high school plays. And this movie, number one, it makes it more affordable for a family to go to a movie. I'll have you know too, like Defying Gravity, like where that is in the actual play, that's the intermission. So we
right,
have a wicked long intermission now
right.
because it's coming out a year from right around now. Can't say enough about this movie.
Yeah,
I think I agree with you. Again, I don't want to prognosticate. I've seen pretty much most of the movies that are to be in the running by far, and I've had a lot of like fave movies this year, but Wicked was wicked good, and it literally blew me away.
yeah, me
I
too.
want to see it again.
Yeah, yeah, I do too. Um, but yeah, definitely. So
Yeah.
definitely go see that. I mean, that's it. And then I guess the other movie that we'll probably maybe we can try to talk about next week too, because that is coming out this week, and it's Moana 2, which is already
Hmm.
starting to get a lot of money too. So I didn't get a
Yes.
chance to see that yet, but
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm kind of out of the animated field here now, and I don't have kids young anymore. That was always my
I mean,
motivating factor.
I liked the first Moana, but
Yeah,
listen, I just think that Wicked is going to be the zeitgeist for
yeah,
our pop culture throughout the holidays.
yeah,
I think that the more that people talk about it, more people are going to see it. But I also think from a repeat business standpoint, I think this movie is going to do a lot of repeat business with the girls and such. And
yeah,
I just think it's going to do really well, and I think it's going to have the legs to stay from Thanksgiving
yeah,
all the way through the holidays. And if Universal is releasing the sing-alongs, then you're going to have those families go back and have a good time at the cinema. That's what I like. There was a lot in the movie, like you said, that you could extrapolate from if you
yep,
want to. If
yep,
you want to talk about race, if you want to talk about this, but go see it for the fun, go see it for the entertaining, go see it for the
yes,
spectacle, go see it for being in the world of Oz. It was truly fantastic.
yep,
Kudos to all involved. It's rare that a movie comes out where I'm watching everybody have a good time
yeah,
doing what they love doing.
yep.
So,
All right, so let us know what you think too, as well. Obviously, leave the comments, and we hope you enjoyed it as much as
yeah, and please do comment and thank you very much for tuning in.
yes,
Did you sing along? Yeah. Oh, also, did you see the play? How many? And there's a good question to pose. How many of you, dear viewers, this was like the first time ever that you've experienced Wicked, like you
yeah.
saw it in the theater, that you might even know that maybe you didn't know anything about the movie. You read the book. A lot of people didn't even know it was a book.
Oh, I know, and I've said
So
it many times. Every time everyone talks about it, I go, "Well, you know, it was a book."
it was a book, and from what I understand, it's already the cat's been out of the bag for the next one. Apparently, they wrote some new songs, so there'll be
Oh,
some new things in there. Look, I can't wait.
yeah, me
I
too,
can't
me
wait.
too.
And you did say something, and it's fair to say it's been taking a long time to get this movie to screen because, well, we had the pandemic. It was supposed to come out in like 2021, 2022. Universal pulled it. I remember when CinemaCon came back after post-pandemic, first year back, I remember going. Universal did a big thing on Wicked. It looked phenomenal then, but then they stalled release. So I believe a lot of part two may already be filmed and
Yeah,
maybe they have it ready. So they worked on this a long time ago almost. So
yeah,
It's good to see the two again. Oh, Jeff Goldblum. We didn't talk about him as the
Well,
one from
yeah,
Wizard.
he was just being Jeff.
He was just being Jeff. That's a great way to put it. Which
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that.
No, no, he's entertaining as hell.
And he kept his shirt on.
He did. He did.
So,
He
anyways,
did.
all right. Well,
Well,
Kit,
happy
hey,
Thanksgiving, everybody, and
happy
yeah,
Thanksgiving.
we'll
You
be
have a
back
very,
next. We'll be back
yeah,
next month with some good stuff.
yeah, and have a fulfilling day with you and your family. I hope you have a
And
nice
yeah,
day.
you too.
Thank you very much. And yeah, Wicked is not a turkey.
There's
There
not.
you go.
All
All
right.
right,
Take
all.
care,
Thank
everybody.
you. Bye.
Bye.